Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of TFT Hyperroll with Artark. And this particular video is by request for this specific build, but before I get into all that, I'll do the usual. Please like, comment, subscribe, do the stuff that helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps the channel get out. It's growing so fast and it is so fun to watch. And with that said, let's get into what this build is and where it originated. The concept for this video started with a comment a couple of weeks ago from Angel Borislavov. I'm sorry if I just butchered your name, went to a pronunciation site, and that's what it said. But the request was 6 Duelists for Recon. I had a lot of trouble conceiving of this because it's not going to make for a very good frontline, but then Ansel Denier, again, I'm sorry if I butchered it, I'm using a pronunciation site for it, suggested slamming a bunch of lockets on Nilah might make this actually work. And I got the opportunity to do that, so here we go. I got a Vayne out of the NPC round, so that gave me the first glimpse that maybe I could go in this direction. I was offered hero augments up front, none of which would match with Vayne in any way, shape, or form. Re-rolled it. Core focus, that can work because it'll speed up the entire team. And Ashe is a Recon, so it'll all end up fitting together because it'll force me to go in a Recon direction. So we're gonna go ahead, put out Ashe and Vayne, and then just try and strengthen the team. So our goal here is to get to 6 Duelists and 4 Recon. My concern is the front line because there's nothing really tanky in this group, so our hope is to get a Nilah with lots of lockets. This concept is leaving me instantly torn on items. Do I grab the needlessly large rod to try to make 2 lockets, or the bow and make a rage blade, or the bow and just probably make a giant slayer on Vayne? I end up opting for the bow and the giant slayer so we can possibly get some more power out of this. But at this point, I don't think a giant slayer is going to save me, especially when I'm facing 3 2-star champions with just my little Fiora out front trying to hold things back, and Ashe dashing about a quarter inch away to get away from them. Yeah, it didn't work out. We 2-starred the gangplank, so we added him into the fight. One nice thing with recons is if they get pulled, they will dash away, hopefully further than a quarter inch. And this time Ashe did, and I thought for a moment we had a chance with this one, but Ashe just didn't have enough power to put LeBlanc away before she cast her spell. We run into someone with a very similar build as they seem to be going into a Duelist Recon position as well. We're able to get the jump on this one and we can win, but I'm not too thrilled because we're both towards the bottom of the health charts. It's time to look at the next set of augments, and this gives me something that will actually help, which is the phony frontline. I can now add a little more bulk into the front line, so my back line will have a chance to really do some damage. We 2-starred the Yasuo, and I was feeling a little hopeful going into this fight until I realized it was someone who had not lost yet. Hoped maybe the phony front line would give us a little more time, but their Talon is just relentless with that Rage Blade and ends up edging us out, but the fact that we got close gave me hope for this build. And it's time for another item choice, and the spatula is tempting, but I need to grab the chain vest because my goal is to get lockets onto a Nilah if I ever see one, and that requires the chain vest and the needlessly large rod. As soon as we got Kaisa, I put a Spear of Sojin on her because, as you can see, our cup runneth over with Tears of the Goddess, and Spear of Sojin is one of my favorite items for her because her attack speed will stack as she does her ult, so she will reach maximum speed just with a Spear of Sojin. It does help us to win this match. We've locked for our Nilah, and so I'm feeling some hope, but then we run into this laser team with a 3-star Yasuo, and they are going to be able to tear through us pretty quickly with all the extra damage that the laser is putting out. But we are going to keep hope alive and bring Nilah in and do what we planned, which is put a locket on Nilah to shore up that front line. For our next item, we decide to grab the chain vest so we can make another locket on Nilah. Then comes a critical moment for this. We get the opportunity for a Recon crest, so we can now go straight to the 4 Recons without the need for Ezreal, who has been elusive up until now. The question is who to make the other Recon. First, we'll just get the Nilah thing out of the way since we know we're doing that. Ultimately, torn, but decide on going with Yasuo as the other Recon, at least for now, because I don't have a Zed. We put a second Spear of Sojin onto Kai'Sa because more mana, more fun, more speed. The key here is that now that we have hit 4 Recons, their ults will crit 100% of the time. So Vayne, Kai'Sa, and Yasuo are guaranteed to crit on their ults, which is going to bring a lot of power and damage to the team. Since they're critting on their ults, I decided to go ahead and put the blue buff on Vayne because that is going to be a true damage crit every time it happens. And as you can see, the power spike is real. We are starting to get some momentum in this match. So for our next item, I am wanting to finish off Vayne, so I grabbed the Infinity Edge just to increase the attack power, although you do not need it for the crit strike because she's automatically critting every time. I find it funny that it gives me another Recon emblem. It's not going to help here. I would love to get another locket to put on Nilah, but it's just not an option. I grabbed the Titan's Resolve, and I'm kind of torn whether to put it on Nilah or Kai'Sa. I decide to go with Kai'Sa because she's attacking so fast, she will get those stacks. We're also going to go ahead and pull out Gangplank for Zed, since he is in general a better unit. And I gotta be honest and say, I really had my doubts about the locket being able to hold this front line, but wow, it's actually doing really well and is as good as brawlers at this point. The Duelist trait along with the Recon trait is giving Vayne an immense amount of power very, very quickly, and you can see Vayne just tearing through the competition and the damage charts, and leading us into the top 4. I did not expect to be here with the way this match started. And it's time for our final 2 items. I decided to bring in a Sejuani as the final champ just because her ult is fantastic, and then it gave me the chance to get a Brawler emblem, which will give additional health to Sejuani and then whoever I put the Brawler emblem on. I was initially going to either put it on Nilah immediately, but decided, you know what, let me see what else I get here. Nothing that really fits, so I go ahead and just roll through, end up getting my 3-star Vayne, my 2-star Sejuani, put the Rage Blade onto Ashe since she's going to be firing lasers, and the Brawler emblem onto Fiora to make her a little tankier. Now I kind of want you to notice something in this fight. Vayne is going to get eliminated fairly quickly via an ult from their Vel'Koz and then Urgot. So Vayne, she's off the board right now, and the rest of the team has to clean up, which means you think one of them is going to be doing the most damage on the team. But when the damage charts pop, it's Vayne by a ton. It's time to face off against that laser team that is running 4 sure shots with their 3-star Yasuo as one of them. Luckily for me, they're positioned close to Vayne, and Vayne can just melt things very, very quickly. And you can see, even though she gets frozen by Sejuani, she eliminates most of their team, doing by far the most damage for us. We get to face the Ghost team, so the other 2 teams are squaring off, but I moved Vayne over so that she would not get caught in Urgot's ult and would stay up just a little bit longer and be able to do more damage. And ultimately, she's the one really cleaning these teams out, and everyone else is just playing cleanup. And it's down to a 1v1 against that sure shot laser team. The problem they are facing is that sure shots take a while to power up, and our team is just based on a lot of damage really fast. So the sure shots don't really get their chance to reach maximum power. We finish it off in 15 seconds, and it's GG to everyone. So there you go. 6 Duelists, 4 Recons. It can work. It took a lot of patience on my part to get the right build. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.